Hey everybody, and welcome to the pre-show. Oh my gosh, we have a ton to talk about, don't we? With the first day of FARMCon 21. Hey everybody, and concluding. Welcome to the pre-show. Oh my gosh, we have a ton to talk about. There we go. I think on the right screen. There we go. I'm so excited to talk about things. I'm on the wrong screens. So we are obviously here on Susquehanna River Valley. We don't have a copy of FS22. We're not on FS22. That was just the thumbnail. But we're going to be talking a heck of a lot about FS22 tonight. Those of you that are in the Discord can join me. I am in the open streaming channel, so we can chat about all the goings on of FarmCon today. I've got my Today at FarmCon video uploaded. YouTube is just slowly processing the HD version. Hopefully that will finish sometime during our live stream, and then I will release that out to the world. I was hoping to premiere that video and watch it with everybody, get your all's thoughts and feedback right away on the video, but well, I got tired of waiting for the HD version to process. So we're live streaming now and hoping that'll come up here in a little bit. Lagweasel, GoldenEye, Jalen, Will, Raz is both in stream chat and voice chat. Say hello.
Hello, hello.
So like I said, anybody that's in the Discord can join us. That's why we are down in the open streaming chat channel, our voice channel. So yeah, we don't want to expose too much of what's going on. That's why we've got it kind of shaded out. It is kind of nighttime on the server, so it is a bit darker than normal, but yeah. Once the counter gets down to double zeros or triple zeros, we will start the real stream. This is just so folks can join us, get ready, get warmed up.
Hey, Furious.
Good evening.
Welcome to voice chat.
I haven't been in one of these in here in a while, at least. I just thought I might pop in for a bit.
So, what do you think? What did you watch it? What do you think of it?
I saw most of it up until about the, what is it? The precision farming presentation, I think. To be completely honest, I'm not a big fan of the new UI. That's about my only real comments on it right now. I liked the clear HUD we had for 19.
Oh, the blue who?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. But other than that, I'm impressed with it. Looks
Oh,
nice.
hi, Bryce. What's up?
Like the game graphically looks really nice.
That's what I thought. I thought there was clear visual improvements from what I can see.
What, you mean you didn't think it was just FS19 with some shaders? Some cheap shaders slapped on it?
I mean, I don't know.
That was a dig at all the hater comments that I see all over the place.
Yeah. Listen, I've gotta go, but I'll be back. Probably later.
Alright. Do the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'll be back.
Elkin Farm, what is up?
I tell you, again, it's kind of hard to tell from the footage they showed, you know, because it's not actual gameplay. I mean, it is, but it's not. But the sky looked nice, and the trees looked amazing. I thought the trees looked great. There was that one little clip where they showed the harvester actually harvesting, and you could see stuff feeding in, and it looked like it was highly detailed. Wow.
Yeah, I think I could probably take the what was it, the Elm Creek segment and make that its whole video and just kind of break it down and talk about all kinds of stuff we see and break down the seasonal video too, probably, or the segment about that. The precision farming thing was interesting, but man, I thought that was a lot longer than it needed to be. I mean, that guy liked to talk, but it was interesting to hear the background on the whole precision farming concept. That, you know, it's something that's the industry and researchers and educational ag institutions have been looking at and researching and investing time on for the last quarter of a century, and then getting more buy-in by manufacturers and other ag influencers, you know, in more recent years, but that the guy had been working at John Deere for 20 some years, or I guess 21 years now, with respect to just John Deere's precision farming initiative was really insightful.
Yeah, I also think a lot of times, you know, we think of precision farming as just, oh, it's a mod for a game, but I really think it's kind of like an initiative that they're partnering with to raise awareness. I think that's why they pushed it so heavy. It's because it's about more than the game, I guess.
Yeah,
and
they touched on that.
Probably and for all we know, it was an agreement that Giants made. They're like, oh, you know, John Deere and EIT, and they're like, listen, we'll give you money and, you know, resources to do this, but you're gonna have to, you know, make it worth our while.
Yeah, well, I mean, the guy alluded that EIT was funding it because he's like, we just got approval back from EIT to fund, you know, the second module. So, you know, it seemed pretty clear that either EIT alone or EIT and John Deere maybe were footing the bill, the Giants developmental bill, to develop this for that purpose of awareness.
Yeah, I think it's you know, just using it for educational purposes. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they used video games to teach concepts for people in school.
Yeah, and he also alluded to you know, using ag schools to, like, if we were to try to convey this concept, you know, to people, how would we do it in a form of a game and everything to elicit kind of that feedback? So it seems to have been well researched, or well, you know, kind of thought out. But the big thing with the second module coming up are some enhancements that I think a lot of people have been wanting. And we'll get to that when we get back into the real show.
Yeah.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Susquehanna River Valley. But really, the gist of today and tonight is to talk about FarmCon 21, the goings on of the first day's events, what we thought, what I thought, and just generally have a nice adult discussion about it. And, well, get some hype going. Get the hype train going for FS22. But before we get into that, oops, wrong video. This video is brought to you by Frank Munns. Thank you for being a farm baron. There we go. Let's get that rocking and rolling. So we were talking about precision farming and the second module, which is going to be coming with FS22 during the spring of 2022. The guy alluded that they're looking to add the ability for players to buy soil maps for your field, maybe for the entire map, who knows, or to contract out someone to do the sampling for you. And of course I thought about the mod that's out now, the precision farming add-on mod that basically lets you do just that at a pretty high expense, but still, clearly they've gotten feedback from the player base that the time it takes to do the samples is more significant than maybe lots of people are willing to put in. It would help if we got close to the trigger.
Yeah, again, it's just one of the, I think,
Alfredo Farms, what's up?
multiple options to fulfill the requirement. It's just a good idea in any game. You know, you can always give an easy way out for anything. I think it'd be a nice touch if they added it to planning, plowing, any of that stuff. You could hire like the mod where you can hire out contracts on your own fields. I think that'd be a great base game addition.
Well, that's a nice transition to something else we'll get to here in a little bit. Another aspect of PF for Double Deuce Farm Sim 22 is what he described was a see and spray. That's it, the see and spray idea, which I thought was pretty cool. So your spray boom has cameras mounted on it, probably a camera for every nozzle, and the spray boom has logic. The camera is tied to a computer. The computer knows what the plant that's in the field looks like. The computer knows what weeds look like, and basically when the computer sees a weed, it tells the nozzle squirt, and when the computer sees a regular plant, it tells the nozzle don't do anything. So that you're only spraying herbicide on areas of the field that have weeds. So that's pretty cool. And then extending that concept to liquid fertilizer, kind of just like the cloth sensor, how that's supposed to work in real life is to somehow visually see the crop growing in the field and establish how much nitrogen that crop has. I don't know if it uses some like infrared detection on the color of the crop, or somehow it can electronically sniff the plant to know what type of gases it's putting off, would be symbolic of its nitrogen levels, but somehow it can detect the nitrogen that the plant needs and then apply just that to the growing crop. So I thought that was a good concept.
I think it's an high art technology. I've noticed for the first time on that cloth sensor, if you're in low light, there's little red lights that reflect off the dirt. I never had noticed that until the other day. But yeah, I think I bet you it's. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same way that some form trace minerals and other stuff. It's just they send energy through the soil, it bounces back, tells them what's there.
Oh, LiDAR.
Yeah,
LiDAR.
I guess in a way maybe. But yeah, if you ever get a chance and you got the claw sensor on and it's like low light, if you get real close, you see it actually is. There's little red lights coming out of that claw sensor.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So let's go back to what Raz alluded to. If you can hire like contracts. Part of the F1 menu now, what they showed off was, you know, you can hit H to hire a helper. Well, in FS22, it looks like H opens the AI helper menu.
Ah.
What could be in the menu? They're asking. GWG Gaming, thanks for the sub. Everybody give him a big old round of applause for subbing to the channel. So yeah, there's now a menu for hired helpers. So, you know, we've seen shots and everything that looked like the player or somebody was skipping lanes. So there must be more now to hired helpers other than just point them in a direction and say, get to it. Zach, I think we all want to see the AI helper menu. Right? Other things that we saw in the UI today was what appears to be support for a gearbox of some sort. There was a little gearbox icon, and then just below that there was DNR for drive, neutral, and reverse. And where we saw the forklift inside the barn, when he backed up, we saw it go from D to N to R and back to drive when he went forward.
Nice. I didn't see that.
So for the folks that like shuttle control or, you know, shifting, that might be now part of standard operating procedure.
I was excited about the months. In fact, there's actual months instead of individual, like instead of spring, summer, fall, winter, there's January, February, March, April.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
Yes. I really like that. I like that much better. And I know a lot of people were upset because they talked about the base game, you're not going to be able to edit seasons length. But I say it's just a matter of time before someone gives you that option.
Right, so let's talk about that. They disclosed that seasonal cycles is basically going to be the equivalent of 3-day seasons as far as Farm Sim 19 is concerned, where one game day is the equivalent of 1 month of passage of time. And since there are 12 months in a year, that means there's 12 game days. And if there's 4 seasons, spring, summer, autumn, and winter, well, do the math. There's got to be 3 days for spring, 3 days for summer, autumn, and winter. And that's where you get your 12. So, yeah, it's disappointing, but hoping that the enhancements to the game clock or the refinements for the player to be able to kind of make more customizations to how time passes will squelch some of those disappointments. Yeah, Ravenhawk, we've got PF on the server. There
Yeah,
it
I mean,
is.
It's like
Just
anything
added
else. You gotta look at where were we at in 19 with no seasons in any form or fashion in the base game, and now here we are in 22 with a form of seasons in the base game.
Well, yeah, it's folks that expect the world, and when the world's not handed to them on a silver platter, they cry like little babies. It's people that jump to conclusions and heard seasonal cycles and instantly just said, we're going to get seasons just as we know it included. And that was never the case, and they were clear about that, but people see and hear what they want to see and hear. But he was a little sketchy, I thought, in the after party Q&A session about if that was really something that was hard-coded and couldn't ever be changed. He was a little hesitant to say that it wasn't something that could be tweaked later or possibly changed, or that there maybe wouldn't be, a enhanced seasonal add-on coming. He did mention during the seasonal cycles that the map author would be able to basically define the region of the map globally. So apparently in GE now there's some way to, I guess, define latitude, longitude of where the map is, and therefore the lighting would be reflected, kind of like you can do with the Seasons mod now. And the map author could do a custom planting harvesting schedule, so similar to a geo now.
Yeah, they said it's in the map. There's not really a standalone geo. Right?
Yeah, so we're not really sure. At least I'm not really sure at this point if that means that there won't be the ability to do an add-on geo, or if just they were just saying that's where it's defined. It's defined in the map at this point. But if there's a way to override the definition in the map or not, it's hard to say. If I want to pretend that I'm in, South America, but I'm playing on a European map, can I do that?
You mean like I do when I play with geo that doesn't have snow, pretty much on every map?
So, yeah, in the after party, he did mention that apparently there's the concept of days of the week, 365 days, because he said in answer to a question that was asked that if a map person or a modder wanted to have something visually appear on a map on a specific set of days, like for example December 24th and 25th, that was possible. Now, with actual gameplay, it would only show up for a few hours in game because of the time compression of an entire game day being a month. So, if 24 hours is a month, then less than an hour is a day. So it might show up for an hour and a half if something is only going to be there for a couple days, but the ability for things to come and go, depending on day or season. E-Man Hoover, what is up?
Just bringing up those seasonal items, snowmen, barbecue, and different stuff like that. That's pretty neat.
right, let's haul this down to our pellet place. See what's going on. I got a kick out of the self-publishing video clip. I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. So if you had to pick a favorite thing about today, feature or visual or something you saw, what would it be?
The entire Elm Creek segment.
I tell you what,
the covered bridge
really,
on Elm Creek. I don't know.
They really captured the farms.
park.
I think
the park
the
looked
farms
hot.
look beautiful.
They did. Oh, and you say farms because
Yes.
the map has
it's
multiple
multiplayer.
farms pre-built.
Multiplayer ready. That was something that I don't think many people even mentioned in chat, is that he
No, they were too
alluded
hateful.
to the fact that
They were
the
too
map
hateful
is
about it
ready
looking like
for multiplayer.
FS19. Eric's favorite item, seasonal items. That's right.
Yeah, that Elm Creek map is beautiful.
What are you talking about? The chat overlay?
Now,
Yeah, I
is
changed it a
was
while
me,
ago.
or did it look like there was running water?
So that was a comment I saw mentioned on another stream before I did this one. I'll have to go back and rewatch it, and I was gonna try to look at it in this stupid FarmCon video. I'm still waiting to finish processing, but I need to go back and look. But Giants did drop, and I saw it only after I got done all this video work. They did drop a unannounced, I didn't even know about it, seasonal changes blog post that includes several screenshots, some animated GIFs, and when they were showing Elm Creek, they showed the park, which included a pavilion and some picnic tables, right? And then they showed real quick like this lagoon water area, and then off in the distance was a wooden stairs kind of going up this rock face. And then so in the blog post they show a different angle of that same area in all the different seasons, and they show like water rippling and almost like fish coming up and you know, nipping at the water surface, so you have the water circles kind of expanding out. So I do think that they have enhanced the water visually quite a bit. Jacer, a standard map is 2 kilometers squared.
Yeah,
That was stated that Elm Creek is
Just from
2
a quick
kilometers
glance,
square.
It looked like there was a couple parts where the
81 fields
like there
on
was
the base map.
elevation. and the
81
water was
fields.
moving down the elevation, like it wasn't on a single plane level.
Flowing water would be awesome. That's one thing I really liked about SnowRunner, was the visual impression that there was flowing water. 81 fields on the base map.
Yeah, that's a lot of fields for a standard sized map. But I'm pretty sure it's from what I saw in the pictures, it's very easy to merge fields. Very easy how it's set up. Even from the screenshot from your thumbnail tonight, you could easily merge that area.
Yeah, for you field mergers, that could definitely work.
And then he also went out of his way to explain the areas on the map that aren't numbered, but are able to be expanded into. So
Yeah, basically undeveloped grasslands or semi-wooded areas. But I really liked I saw a covered bridge, at least one covered bridge there I liked, because that's something you see up in the Northeast.
I like the elevated train track. That was pretty cool.
For some reason I got a little giddy over the blue post box, the blue mailbox alongside the street.
It's the little things, right?
Right, but I mean, it was clearly an American mailbox. Yeah, it wasn't some European thing showing up like some of the fire hydrants are like, what is that? That's a fire hydrant. It's like, no, it's not. So yeah, it's just like, oh, that's in a mailbox. That's like a real mailbox that we see on street corners, or used to see on street corners.
It's very exciting.
That's right. Lagweasel saw electric lines.
The snow on the roofs.
Going to houses.
That looked very nicely done. And then the buildings themselves, all the buildings they showed looked really nice.
All right, we gotta go
That's
get
the
our
American map, right?
telehandler.
There's no telling what the European one will look like.
I know. Well, I said in my video whenever it finishes that it's going to be hard to top the American map, in my opinion.
Well, they gave us Felsbrunn, which was, this beautiful European map, and then they gave us Ravenport.
Yeah.
So,
So
if it follows the same suit, you're
gonna
get the most amazing
European
map ever.
Well, I think what you got is, I don't remember definitively, but I got a sense that in 19 they spent their time developing Felsbrunn, and Ravenport was the second map. I don't remember, but I got a sense that maybe a lot of the screenshots, or all the screenshots we really saw, were of Felsbrunn. And again, I don't remember 100%. But this time around, all the screenshots, for the most part, we've seen is from Elm Creek that we can definitely pin down. So, is the European map taking second billing to the American map this time around? Are they just alternating which map they focus on first or the most? Will be interesting to see when that gets announced and shown off.
Maybe tomorrow?
Maybe.
With the gameplay footage?
Maybe. That's all they'll put. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. They might hold back a little. Because they've got, August, September, October. They got 3.5, 4 months of slow information. But when did fact sheet start last time? How many weeks ahead of time? Do you remember?
No.
I think it was like maybe 6 or 7 weeks before launch. Might have been more than that. But in terms of what they said they were doing for the new map, I definitely like the idea that they said they built Elm Creek to have a little bit more of a multiplayer feel with the additional farms.
Let's see, where am I?
Something
forts?
about having different farms in one in the center and new farms in the corners of the map for multiplayer. And each are kind of set up very similarly.
think I have forks. Don't I have forks? Yeah, and usable buildings. Buildings you can actually use.
Yeah.
How about that as a concept? As opposed to the static decorative buildings that are just there.
That was... I remember when 19 released, and you know they talked about placeable buildings, and then you open the base game and you have a whole section of placeable buildings that are not useful. I was like, what is this junk?
I guess I don't have forks.
So maybe now that every building will have a use.
Yeah, like in the trailer, right? The trailer they showed the guy opening his barn and getting his John Deere out. So what's the first thing most players did when they got on the starter farm? They went to the barn, and the door doesn't open.
Yeah, they tried to open the red barn.
Why is the door not open?
Trailer.
The door doesn't open. And that's yeah. Why is the door not open? I mean, that was a fury.
Yep. Yeah, and what like I don't know. As a game dev, I'd been like, "Yep, the barn door needs to open, and the base map should start with the John Deere in the barn." Like that that should have just been
left control S.
You know.
There we go.
Intro movie thing for 19. Build up the garage, have that be the entry to the game.
Yeah, where you just like you spawn in right there. Yeah. So the CGI, where they talked about the making of the CGI thing, was kind of neat. I thought it was kind of neat.
I like that. In the video, if it ever finishes processing, I spent a good minute. I basically kept a big chunk of that in, where they talked about that, because I just found it interesting. All the motion capture and basically designing the characters around the actors that were hired to do the motion capture and everything. I just found that interesting.
I thought it was really cool. The storyboard function, and I don't know. I like the whole idea of making movies. It's kind of fun.
Oh,
not me, right?
Yeah, totally not something you'd find interesting.
Oof, Klein, there's a telephone pole there.
Driving like I do when I get impatient in ATS. ATS might not be intended to be a racing game, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to try sometimes.
Yeah, I was going to get on and for the Q&A with Precision Farming, and I was going to ask him if they had planned on implementing any more varieties of minerals, you know, not just nitrogen, but, you know, other types. And it kind of got alluded that they weren't really going to answer any questions about what was coming in the future. So I just like, I'm not going to try. Yeah. Because it seems like they knew a whole lot more than they were willing to talk about on a lot of stuff.
Oh, well, yeah. Because,
yeah.
I mean, there's still things that they're going to later reveal this week.
Well, and like you said, it's not done. Because precision farming's not done. They flat out said that it's not done. But that's a later version. But
oh, we got to turn off the headlights.
you know,
I did have a question more about the seasons part of the game.
There we go.
Because they made it sound like 3-day seasons is default. Is there?
That's
Default
it.
is not the right word. There is no choice really. It's 3-day seasons, full stop, no options.
Yeah.
Off.
Yeah, that was my question. Are we not able to adjust the day count in seasons?
No.
That is correct. At least that's what they're saying presently. I think Klein and I are of similar minds in that they're being a little cagey about how exactly it's implemented and if it could be changed at a future date without having to rewrite parts of the core engine.
Yeah.
I'm sure a very industrial or a very adventurous modder could probably spend some time and pick it apart and figure it out. It's just if there will ever be somebody that'll do that. Just like
You mean
that guy himself, Ratkin, and a group of people created seasons and implemented in the base game or not in the base game, but implemented it in 17, where there was no concept of it. So I'm sure there's ways around it. It's just they're probably not going to hint that there's ways around it. It's one of those things, if you can figure it out, good for you.
Well, that's you know, it. For all we know, it could be an add-on later on that similar. They work in conjunction with the seasons folks again to say, oh well, call it expanded seasons or something. You know.
All right. So for now, what we know is it's 3-day seasons. You can turn off the seasonal growth calendar, but seemingly maybe the visual transitions are going to remain, which might be a little weird. Harvesting and planting crops in winter, visual winter if you have the calendar turned off. But there's some more kind of hints in the seasonal changes blog post that was put out after the session aired. So, yeah, at this point, you figure the way you can change your affect the time scale is just with the clock. So, if you typically play, let's say, 9-day seasons at 5x speed, which is kind of the default season duration and the default game clock speed, then if you lower your game speed from 5x to 1x or 2x, then you'll still have generally the same amount of gameplay time frame, with 3 days per transition to 9 days per transition.
Oh, cool. It says here you can turn off snow if you want. Okay, good. But
Yeah,
I'm looking at
turn off
these
snow.
pictures, and there's what's really nice is how the rocks in these images have snow on them.
Yep, kind of like the some of the images we saw with some of the other information they gave out earlier was houses in winter. Visually, the snow appeared like on the steps of the porch, and on, looked like it was on the tops of the brick edges of the sidings and on the windowsills. So the snow mask or the snow effects are far more than just, snow on the ground. But it's hard not to say that the idea of being fixed at 3-day seasons isn't a big disappointment. But if you try to put yourself in a Giants meeting where they were discussing that, what were the pros to doing that? My guess is they were concerned about just the general concern a lot of people that aren't familiar with seasons are concerned about is the progression of gameplay. When seasons came out in 17, there were lots of very prominent at the time streamers that were very adamant that you couldn't stream and play with seasons because players wouldn't watch. Viewers wouldn't watch because the gameplay is too slow. Well, I think there's plenty of streamers that play with seasons that would prove that completely false. There are plenty of people that are saying, well, you could never make money. You could never play with seasons and be profitable because of the fact that you have to go so long without harvesting. Well, there's plenty of people that have played seasons and been far more profitable than they need to be to prove that wrong. But I think possibly what they did was they sat there and they said, well, you know, maybe for the average player, a longer duration of 6 or 9 day seasons, 6 days, that's 24 days in a year. That's probably like 18 days between plant to harvest, probably. Or 9 day seasons, which is even longer. They probably thought that that was just going to be a little bit too long for the average player to basically contend with. So 3 days, 12 days a year, maybe was some sort of general consensus that was relatively acceptable. I realized I just went the wrong way. Oh, what else?
Yeah.
What else? All kinds of information from Elm Creek.
Probably could explore 100 different reasons why,
One that definitely was coming up is how many people were confused by being able to set different season lengths and how to cope with. I set a really long one, but it's taking forever for things to happen. And them having to explain over and over to people kind of how it works and all of that. So I can see that playing in heavily too, as the support side of Giants would be deluged if they made it too configurable.
Yeah, I mean, you've been over in their over in the season Slack for quite a while now. It's just an endless, the same questions endlessly, ad nauseum by different people. And it's clear that they didn't read the blog, they didn't read any of the documentation, or watch anybody's videos explain the process. They'll come over and they go, I have cows, they're not making milk. Well, yeah, they have to give birth. That's documented. It's not broken. This is how it works.
I want to say it even shows up in the in-game help too, if you actually go look at it.
Yep.
I mean, they did a really good job with that. It definitely leaves questions, but it covers the basics really well.
So I'm looking at these photos. It looks like we have water reflections
right here. So we have seasons information in the in-game help menu.
Reflections of what's over the water area.
Nice.
Same with precision farming.
Because like if you, I posted them in Discord. You can kind of see that.
I'll pull them up. I'll pull them up on screen.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about from the blog post. Like that little GIF that they have of the snowing and the water swirling. That's so cool.
So that's the GIF, but you can see down here the water. There's definitely water movement going on. You can see the snow on the rocks, which is something that you wouldn't see in standard, in standard farm sim. Down here we've got some area on the rock that's not snow covered. In theory, the water's lapped up there and melted it away. So here's the water. Some ripples in one of the seasons. You've got this wooden stairs going up there. There, the lighting has changed. So they alluded to that. They alluded to that actually in the cinematic trailer.
Yeah, there's a cave down here too.
That they used different lighting. So in the winter it was more of a blue light, a softer light. In the summer it was a hotter, warmer light. So I think that carries over in these images too, that we're seeing subtle hues in the sun's lighting. You see we got lichen growing and moss growing on these rocks.
See, that's the picture there where you can clearly see the reflection of the different colored trees.
Right there.
Yep. And then when you go to another scene, the reflection changes, which is, I think, encouraging. Cause
yeah, here we have no growth on those trees. Although we still have these green bushes, but okay, we'll take what we get. Oh, looks like maybe we have a little water pool up here on this rock.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Oh, look at that tire pattern. That's a completely different tire there.
I think and again, the pictures may not do it full justice, but it looks like the lighting is might be a little better in the sky.
So yeah, look here. So right here we have, kind of a dip in the water. It's dry. It's dry here. It's dry here. It looks like there's water here because I get a reflection, or what looks like a reflection. Ravenhawk, it's a blog post. It's right here. That's what I'm looking at, that very webpage.
You can find all this stuff at farmingsimulator.com.
Oh, right there. This mod came from.
Show them the big cloths.
Alrighty, back we go.
So here's a one find. If you pull up that cloth photo from the blog post that you're just on,
all right, I gotta
see rocks, actual rocks.
Yeah, I got a higher quality version. Let me go dig that up. But yeah. Like I told you, did I tell you the other day that there were talks of rocks?
Yeah.
In that picture? Let me try to dig up the higher quality one.
I hope the sky is blue. Like,
oh, did you see at the very end the beacon? Did you see what the beacon looks like? It looked a little cheesy, but still. Damn, I want to pre-order Farm Sim 22 Collector's Edition.
I just like my big turnoff for the sky in 19 is that the blue is really washed out.
Well, just become colorblind, and it doesn't matter. Right? Blue? What's this blue you talk of? You're full of it. Alright, here's a high-res picture. Look, son, I got rocks. There's rocks on the field. What could that mean? Mason, I guess you could save on... I don't know anything about console. I assume you could save on console now, can't you? You just save the game? Then just don't open it up in single player? I don't know. I don't play on console. But rocks, my son. don't throw rocks at one who has also sinned. Don't throw rocks when you live in a glass house. But there's rocks on this field here. So those rocks.
Yeah, there's so much you can theorize on.
All right, so the good thing is my video is finally done processing. I'm gonna make that go live after the stream. When's your stream?
My plan was 10,
All right.
but I might just want to watch your video.
Okay. Well,
I'm kind of excited.
I'm excited too. I want people's feedback because I worked on edit. It took me a couple hours to put that together. Of course, somebody would be like, "Took you hours? I could have done that in 10 minutes." I'm like, "Well, then come do it. Come be my editor. You can focus on other things."
Yeah,
It's like the Paris Heller guys. Like, one of the best things I did early on was I hired an editor.
well, good for you.
Yeah. I'm glad you were making enough money to pay for an editor. If you want to edit my videos and you're willing to work for like pennies, I mean literally pennies, then yeah, hit me up. Show me some of your work. I'll pay you 10% of my monthly YouTube revenue. Be careful, it's pennies.
How long is your video?
Well, I was shooting for 15 to 20 minutes. It's almost double my maximum length of 20 minutes. So it's 38 minutes long.
40. Okay.
It's 38. Zach, what did you try to post? Zach, it's okay. It's because Streamlabs is stupid. Streamlabs is an idiot because they think that anything is a link. Zach, I need to see work. Boot Helo 06, how you doing tonight? See, I really was glad that Giants did a segment on self-publishing. I don't know if they took any advice I gave them about, hey, you should really do a session on self-publishing because I kind of understand what it means. I get the gist that you're taking a big, responsibility. You're taking a large gamble of never done this before, and this is your livelihood. You don't sell the game, you don't make money. But I'm glad that they talked about that, and I think that guy did a great job in the session. And I finished my video with he basically, the guy prompting him asked him, why do you think Giants went to self-publishing? And he gave a really great answer. He said that he thought the owners of the company decided to do it because self-publishing meant that they could get closer to the community, seek feedback better from the community, and in the end produce a better game in the future. And I think that's what everybody wants to hear, right? They want a better game. They want to know that they have the opportunity to give feedback. And that's kind of, that's the whole concept of the ambassador program that I have been graciously able to be a part of, is to be a two-way channel between you all and Giants back to you all. Some days I feel like I'm just a a press guy doing press releases, but you know, other days I get to take feedback and go straight to Giants, and hopefully tomorrow when we get Q&A sessions, we will see that directly in action, where questions that maybe even this community, watchers of this channel, or maybe even my own questions, are asked, and Giants gives answers back. You know, that'd be great. I gave Giants some big praise after day one in the Ambassador channel about being so available, you know, in the Discord, in Q&A sessions and everything for the community at large, which they would have been, you know, at a physical FarmCon. But again, I've said this sometimes, that when they were a physical FarmCon, it's in Europe, and it's only accessible to so many people because, well, only so many people can travel to that location, and those are typically Europeans. Not a lot of Americans are going to have the means to travel to Europe for what in essence used to be a day-long event. You know, a single day to travel to Europe is a pretty big deal. But like Ratkin, you know, he had so many questions were being asked that he went and started his own chat channel, and a couple hundred people went and left the main chat channel and continued asking questions for who knows how long. And you know, remember, it was FarmCon started at 8 p.m. for them. So by the time FarmCon was over, it was after 10. So it's a long day for them. You know, for us, it was just mid-afternoon or early, late morning, depending on what time zone you're in. Diablo del Toro, welcome to the stream. They're going digital, but they're still physical. There's still people that want to buy physical media. You know, there's people that are, let's say, collectors of physical media. It definitely makes it somewhat easier, especially if you are exclusively digital, like for example SCS and American Truck Sim. You know, pretty much the only way you can buy that is through Steam. I assume all of you have seen this, right? Straw Harvest add-on. Yay! J-Boy, what is up? Oops. Tomorrow, hopefully we learn more about production chains, or maybe that's Friday. I forget the schedule now. Let's look the schedule up. Let's look up the FarmCon schedule. So here we go. Here's the schedule for tomorrow. It's too long. Stupid. All right, hold on. There's the schedule for tomorrow. We have the gameplay premiere, the thing everybody wants to watch, right? The gameplay premiere of Farm Sim 22. That is going to be the thing everybody wants to see. Giants Engine 9, learning about our updated Giants Engine. I hope they're going to talk about the visual enhancements that DX12 brings. Here is the Q&A session that I mentioned. These are the questions that the ambassadors were asked to seek and provide feedback on. And there's probably going to be some more stuff. And then Friday, build mode. This is new. Build mode, we take a look at a wide range of placeables and landscaping. Oh my God, let's hope they fixed placing buildings, because the camera that's not fixed is a complete pain. And landscaping, please have an undo function. All I want is the ability to go, oops, undo. Because you know what? Landscaping on a dedicated server is scary as all get out. Because there is no undo. We're going to learn more about the new crops, sound update, and our second Q&A community question and answer period on Friday. Then, of course, the weekend is pretty much set up for... Oh, Friday we also have a bale stacking challenge. Now, this is interesting, the bale stacking challenge. These are Farm Sim League players, and they're going to be stacking real bales. So Farm Sim League players are going to be stacking real bales with real machinery. That ought to be fun to watch, right? How well does the game and game controls translate to a real skid steer or telehandler and real bales, right? I mean, these guys are pretty undisputed experts at handling bales efficiently in-game. Are they that efficient at handling bales in real life? That ought to be hilarious. Matt, what is up? So let's hear more from you all. What did you like about FarmCon today? What was the big takeaway? We were talking about the schedule, Thursday and Friday. Showing that off. Friday has a section on build mode you might find interesting. Placeables and landscaping. I was saying, dear God, please have put in an undo function. And hopefully they can have a nicer camera when placing buildings, as opposed to the camera that just swivels around itself. So when you're trying to place something, you're like, well, I want to see it from the other side, but then it completely repositions everything. We're talking about the bale stacking contest on Fridays. Farm Sim League players stacking real bales with real machinery. So how well can they translate game controls to real controls?
I bet you they're better at it
game
in real
physics
life.
to real physics.
I bet you it's easier in real life. Because I bet you the perception's easier.
Well, I'm wondering, depends on how well it, if they use a joystick in gameplay.
True.
Or if they use a controller, a keyboard, and mouse, how well they can translate left click up and down, left click side to side is rotation. How good can they translate that to however the joys map in a real piece of machinery? I know growing up when I was using the wheel loader, it was always grab the handle, move it. Oops, that's the wrong one. Because I never did it enough. And then after a few times, you kind of almost could remember which control did what. But still, it was a lot of, oh, no, that's not the right one. Just like there, you push the brake to go backwards, not the gas to go forwards. Vehicles are going to be, who knows when they're going to talk about the different brands, right? I mean, there's so much that still we don't know about. Oh, that's interesting. I have a levitating bale. There we go. Oh, so let's talk about this machine. I learned something about this machine I never knew about. And I figure somebody maybe doesn't know about it. Or maybe I'm the only stupid person and I'm the only one that never knew about it. So this spindle thing, you know what this spindle thing does?
Oh yeah, it cuts and pulls the twine.
Right. I never really understood what it did, but I think I was watching a real video of this thing in real life and then discovered that, you know, the hook on the right, like, gathers the strings and cuts the strings or something, and then basically takes them across, in theory, then takes all the strings over to the spindle thing, which then winds the strings up so that they don't run through the machine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I watched it in a real life video too, I think.
we probably watched it at the same time on the same video link. Because somebody shared it in Discord, probably. They were like, "Holy cow, that's so cool!" So yeah, the things you didn't know. So yeah, we're gonna in about 30 minutes we're gonna premiere the Today at FarmCon video. Let me go ahead and schedule that up for 10. So we're gonna do a schedule premiere 10 p.m. today. So in 30 minutes. And we're going to
So I'm looking at this crop calendar screen.
trailer.
We've got these icons, you know. I know what some of them are, but other ones.
So we're gonna watch this after the
escape
stream.
menu.
Is this something I posted?
No, so it's from the blog. You can pull it up there.
It's yeah, I got it right here.
I'm looking at the icons, you know, trying to.
So this is the map, PDA, the globe, a steering wheel.
That's what, yeah.
Because down here we have vehicles, so this is probably your vehicle menu. The calendar, weather forecast, the economy screen, or the seasonal prices, you know. Then this is, I guess, your finances, your animals, contracts. That's production. But what's that? You know what that might be? That might be the AI helper menu.
Oh yeah,
So let's see the icons: wheat, barley, canola, oat, corn, sunflower, soybeans, potatoes, sugar beet, sorghum, grapes. All right, so far those icons look legible and understandable.
You want to know what else would be great? Hopefully on the price screen it has the words.
Olives, poplar, grass, oilseed radish. You know, so there's all these are all plantings. So grass looks like that. So I wonder what hay straw and silage looks like. You know, because I never remember which is which.
So if you pull up, like in the base game, like you said, the world is the PDA. The bar graphs the price. Then you got your tractor, which is your vehicle overview. Finances, animal contracts. statistics.
So yeah, I'll show during the video, but there is a new AI helper menu we don't know anything about. Maybe we'll learn about it during FarmCon. Maybe we'll see it in action tomorrow. Never know. Maybe they're going to hold back and tell us all about that later. Rabbit Rob, thank you for the super chat there, buddy. How's it going with you? Oh, it's great with me, man. I am hyped. Hype train. I don't have... I need to get a hype train sound effect. Hold on. All right, well, I can't find it. We'll just do rant alert for now. I need to look through the stream deck and see if I can find some sort of hype train sound effect. What map is this? J-Man, this is Susquehanna River Valley. There's a link to the map in the description. Usually it's in the title, but you know what? Today's all about chatting about FarmCon 21 and Farm Sim 22. So the map is not in the title. You can find this map over at nexusmods.com. This is a 4X map, so it is PC only. And remember, in about 20 minutes, we're going to be doing a premiere of our Today at FarmCon video. You want to visit someone's farm? You just do this. Here's Diesel's farm. I mean, I could drive here if I wanted to. My farm is just over there. There's another farm down there. And there's another farm over there. So you just go to it. I mean, you could join a farm, but nobody wants... I mean, I don't want to join the farm because I'll lose then my farm. So yeah, the bit about the map being set up for multiple farms from the get-go, I think is big. Because, you know what? Ravenport, it wasn't even set up to place your own farm because the starting area was nowhere as close to being flat or just generally, you know, placeable. And there was really no other place to do anything other than trying to find some semi-flat land up by, you know, on the west of the map. Fellsburn, it felt like they put a little more thought into that, and the starting farm area was, for the most part, flat. And there were some other areas kind of up on the mountain and such that could be also, you know, built on. But with this, out of the gate, the ability to pick a different farm, as long as you own it, right, to farm from. Now, they haven't really talked about different play modes, so we don't know if the farm manager start from scratch concept is coming forward. I would hope so.
Yeah, they really haven't given us a whole lot of gameplay mechanics. outside of precision farming and seasons. That was the Q&A was really nice for that today. It gave-
There we go. Now, I do wish the Q&A, and there isn't really much they could do about it, but I was disappointed. I was upset. I wasn't really upset. I was frustrated. That's probably better. That I couldn't join and participate and listen in on the Q&A session for Elm Creek, because I also wanted to watch and listen to the presentation on seasonal changes, and they were going on at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
So, you know, it was like, I mean, I could have said, well, I am recording FarmCon, so I will just listen in and then later go back and watch it. But then I'm kind of listening to something I don't have context on. So you had to pick. And for me, who wants to kind of report on things and maybe do a holistic report on everything that was said, you can't really do that because things are said outside of what you're listening to. But I understand it kind of because, again, FarmCon started at 8 p.m. their time. So if they waited until FarmCon was totally over to do the Q&A sessions, you know, they would be running into midnight their time before it was all said and done. But I think also, possibly if it was at a real event, they would probably have had 20 or 30 minutes of questions after a session and then moved on to the next session. I don't think they would have had a session and then, but I've been to conferences where you have, you know, multiple tracks going on at the same time. So it's kind of akin to that too, where you have to pick. If there's multiple sessions going on at the same time, you just have to pick what do you go to. J-Man, yeah, this is the straw harvest shit. So it's part of the straw harvest add-on. So you get 3 different versions. The pellet ware haul, which is the empty version. Pellet haul with the crane, or the pellet haul with the palletizer. That's what we've got. Yeah, it's like you go and say, okay, Raz, I want you to focus on seasonal changes. So you watch that, you do all the Q&A, and then you report back and share your notes. I'll do Elm Creek and I'll share my notes, and then we'll both know everything. Basically just trusting that the other person, you know, fairly represented what was said. We better clear these out of the way. Eddie, we're going to get that news on Friday. Friday, there's a whole session on building, placeables and landscaping. Friday. So we're going to cover that Friday after FarmCon if you can't watch it. You can get this mod over at farmingsimulator.com's main website. It's called Straw Harvest Add-on. It's in the main Giants website or mod hub. Available for PC and console. I hope they just add a undo function for landscaping, quite frankly. And I hope that they have a stationary camera for placeables. Yeah, because when you try to place something, you've got this camera that just appears to float around. Well, Demon Pro, I would say take FS17 and compare it to FS22, and then think about FS22 and say that would be probably what FS24 might change. It's hard to say, really. I didn't add it. No, I didn't add that to the server. Oh. But up until that point, we were doing pretty good with our forks. They do make things a bit easier for sure. Oh, something they talked about with the self-publishing is that maybe there's a reason why we don't see any maps from places like Asia and Japan and all that, is because they don't market their game there, or they didn't in the past.
Yeah.
Because they talked about reaching new markets now that they're self-publishing. So I guess Focus either didn't deal in those areas or didn't feel it was worth their efforts. All right, let's see if we can sell this and how much money we make.
Either that or they just didn't have a distribution network, you know.
Let's fix this.
Then I guess Giants would have to do language support, wouldn't they? So like if they...
Come on.
Maybe.
Put it down. Put it down. Drop it, drop it, drop it. It won't let me drop it. Well, they talked about adding Portuguese, and they talked about adding Nordic languages to FS22. So where can I sell these pellets? We got 10 minutes before we're gonna do the premiere of the of today at FarmCon. Central Grain, of course, we gotta go all the way up to Central Grain. So we've got just about enough time to do that. Big Tony Tomato. Well, we don't know how they're going to be in FS22. I didn't have any real problems with these other than I accidentally pushed one off the trailer. So stick around. We are going to head over to that premiere in just about 10 minutes. What is up? I think they said they were adding, I don't know, Nordic languages. What languages would Nordic languages? Would that be a language that, what language do you set yours to? 4? That is the real question I want to ask, and I just don't know how to ask it. Okay, so they do have Danish support already. So Nordic languages, what would those be? Because they talked about during the self-publishing session about adding support for those. Like GoldenEye is such an intelligent person. Icelandic? That sounds Nordic to me. Definitely sounds Nordic to me, right? I know, Rabbit Rob, it's just crazy. Soon I'm going to drop off the top 10 list. How is that possible? So let's see how much money I get for pellets. $2,200. And so $4,400 for the equivalent of 14 bales of hay. I don't know if that's such a good deal or not. I know, right? We need to watch ourselves more in stream. All right, we need to get to scanning our fields at some point and putting down lime. Got $116,000, so we've got enough money now to support that. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap up this stream a little bit before the top of the hour. Give me time to get a beverage and settle in at the other system to watch the premiere. Give you all guys time to hit the big boys room if you want to. Grab another beverage, maybe some popcorn, and join in on the premiere of today at FarmCon. It's going to be airing on the channel at the top of the hour. So let's put another link in real fast to that. Like I said, we'll head over there and check that out. And until then, happy farming.